Based on our quick survey which we did on our YouTube channel last week, we understood that many international students who are overseas would like to get a regular updates regarding what's happening in Australia for the international students. So we have decided to make regular videos on this topic. Now we will try our best to make this on a weekly basis, but if not, we will try to do on every second week so that you get updated about the news here in Australia. So let's get started with this and the last week's latest updates. Now the first thing first, New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian said she would like to see 1/3 of the hotel quarantine capacity to be used for international students and skilled migrant workers. So the New South Wales Premier would like to see this starting in from the early next year in January itself. Now the current capacity of hotel quarantine in New South Wales is around 3,000 passengers per week. So currently on its capacity, New South Wales is taking around 3,000 passengers from overseas, which are Australian citizens and permanent residents. But Premier wants to use around 1/3, which is around 1,000 spots per week for international students and skilled workers. Obviously, international students not arriving in Australia is having a huge impact on Australian economy and the universities. So the Premier further said that she don't want universities to lay off thousands of university workers because international students can't get back in. And as I mentioned earlier, she wanted to start it from the early next year, from January itself. But obviously, she said she will have to wait for the federal government's approval on this. So if that's a possibility where a portion of hotel quarantine capacity is used for bringing international students back in Australia, that can be really great both for the students and the economy here in Australia. As many universities, businesses that are depending on international students and students themselves are getting a bit frustrated with not getting enough information and updates from the Australian government regarding the border opening for international students. Now in another news, Australian Prime Minister said that there are around 36,000 Australian residents who want to come back home in Australia. And he further added that it is expected that around 29,000 of them will be coming back home before Christmas. And Australian government is definitely launching some repatriation flights to bring these Australians back home before Christmas. And again, if that is possible, where majority of them can come home before Christmas, that will certainly empty up some of the hotel quarantine portion, which can be utilized to bring international students and other skilled workers. Now in another news, Victoria is officially COVID-19 free, which basically means that Victoria has not reported any community transmission over the last 28 days. And that is an official benchmark for declaring any place COVID-19 free if they have reached that threshold of 28 days without any community transmission. So that is another great news, considering there were around 700 cases per day in around 3 months ago. So definitely a congratulations to Victorian community who have done the right thing by sticking to the rules and staying together for controlling this virus. But according to the government, there could be still some undetected virus floating around in the community. So it is important to still be cautious and follow the guidelines as given by the Chief Health Officer. And as there is no community transmission in Victoria for so long, Victorian government has decided to resume its international flights from December 7 onwards. So around 1,120 passengers can arrive in Victoria from December 7th. And again, they are going to be only Australian citizens and permanent residents for the moment. But it certainly increased the total capacity of hotel quarantine in Australia. And South Australia will also resume its international flights from December 1 onwards as well. South Australian government stopped these international arrivals over the last couple of weeks because of the COVID-19 cluster in Adelaide. And the last news for this week is regarding the Darwin University's pilot program. Now, Northern Territory's pilot program to bring international students back in Australia will go ahead as planned before the end of this year. And there will be students coming in from few Asian countries, as we have discussed in one of other videos. While the other pilot programs has been delayed for the moment, because of South Australians COVID-19 cluster. And at the moment there is no official update on when this pilot program can resume in South Australia. But as soon as we get an update, we'll keep you posted either on our YouTube channel here or on one of our blog articles. So make sure to subscribe to the channel to get the latest updates. Or you can also subscribe to our email newsletter, which we usually send every single month. And in that monthly newsletter, we cover all the news updates, some articles, videos, and some other freebies that are useful for international students both in Australia and overseas. So if you would like to get a monthly update on those news, I highly recommend you to subscribe to that newsletter as well. And as always, if you do like the video, please make sure to share it with your friends as well, so they get to know the latest updates here in Australia as well. Well, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.